Hey, how y'all doing? We're going to be going over 1 Corinthians 1, verses 10 through 17. Just going to start. This is Paul's letter to the Corinthians, verse 10. Now I plead with you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that you be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Going to stop right there. What does this mean? Does this mean we should all be one denomination? Because that's how you could interpret it. I've heard of Catholics interpreting this somewhat like that, saying we should all be joined together to the same church, same denomination, same Catholic church, be all joined together. There should be no divisions and denominations about it. But, what we have to acknowledge is that, there's always going to be some differing opinions, right? That means we can all stick together in a denomination with disagreements. And, not everybody can go to a Catholic church, and also there's some unbiblical Catholic teaching. So is it our job to find the one true denomination? No. Some people are going to be Baptist, some people are going to be Presbyterian, some people are going to be Lutheran, whatever, but we shouldn't bash other denominations for minor theological disagreements, is what this is saying. That's my interpretation of it. You can put yours in the comments. But, we shouldn't bash others for, slight theological disagreements. Now, of course, if it's something unbiblical, which, like idolatry in the church, then yes, denounce that, say it's not a church, do what you got to do with the help of God. Like, for example, the Eucharist. In Lutheran and Catholic tradition, it's believed that the Eucharist is the literal blood and body of Jesus. It's Jesus' blood and body is miraculously in the Eucharist. Now, that's idolatry because you're trying to equate God being in something physical. So denounce that. That's not Christianity. That's idolatry. It's not a church. The Lutheran and Catholic churches are not churches of God. They're, unbiblical, satanic. It's all that. Curse it, that sort of stuff. So, yes, just know what's biblical and what's not biblical, but don't dog on someone else's tradition just because it doesn't line up with your vision. For example, what's a good one? Yeah, the Christian church and the Church of God, they dog on each other because they disagree. They came from the same church, but then they schismed because over whether or not musical instruments should be used or not in the church, which is like, don't dog on somebody for some dumb theological reason like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're going to move on to verse 11. For it has been declared to me concerning you, my brethren, by those of Chloe's household, that there are some contentions among you. Now I say this, that each of you says, I am of Paul, or I am of Apollos, or I am of Cephas, or I am of Christ. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you, or were you baptized in the name of Paul? So what he's saying in these verses is that we should, say we follow some leader. We should say we follow Jesus, right? Because if we all, follow different people, you're just splitting into different religions. No, we got to follow one person, that is Jesus, and his example by which we follow. Not Joseph Smith, not Muhammad, not, any other fake prophet, false prophet. Verse 14. I thank God that I baptized none of you except Crispus and Gaius, lest anyone should say that I have been baptized in my own name. Yes, I also baptized the house of Stephanas. Besides, I do not know whether I baptized any other, for Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made with no effect. Right. So let's just acknowledge that, absorb that for a minute. So it shows how we could be called to do different things. Some people preach the gospel, some people baptize. For Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel. Yeah. So let's just acknowledge that. So what have we learned from this? we shouldn't dog on other people's denominations because of slight theological differences, but that does not mean that we should not, be not quick to call something unbiblical if it is unbiblical. That's what we can conclude from these 7 verses. Yeah, join for the next Bible study, next video. Hope you like this. Comment, share, whatever you want to do. Comment your concerns, anything to add, subtract, whatever. Okay, bye.